When you sign to fight me, it's a celebration. You ring back home, you ring your wife. Baby, we done it. We're rich, baby. Conor McGregor made us rich.
Sometimes the best action takes place off the field. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 hilarious press conferences in sports history.
Well, the idea of this game is to recruit football players and move them around that basket and get rebounds. I should have played a little more muscle, is what I should have done.
For this list, we'll be looking at sports press or media conferences in which either a player or coach does or says something that got people laughing.
A win is a bird, and we take her out at the end of the day.
Number 10, they are who we thought they were. Dennis Green.
You know, I mean, we just, the Bears are what we thought they were. What we thought they were.
After blowing a 20-point lead and losing a regular season game to the Chicago Bears, Arizona Cardinals head coach Dennis Green took to the podium for one of the funniest and most memorable press conferences in NFL history.
We played them in the third game. Everybody played three quarters. The Bears are who we thought they were.
The usually genteel Green begins the presser in a state of disbelief, but quickly launches into a confusing and ill-advised rant about the Bears. His strange, almost incoherent flow is comical for a number of reasons, the most obvious being the crazed look in his eyes as he shouts at a room full of reporters.
And that's why we took the damn field. Now, if you want to crown them, then crown their ass. But they are who we thought they were.
Although he apologized and his team showed improvement, the Cardinals didn't let him off the hook for this one, and Green was let go at the end of the season.
If you knew who they were, why didn't you stop them?
We let them off the hook.
Number 9, awkward silence, Chris Bosh.
Like I said before, I'm not going to make any excuses. You know, it is what it is, and, you know, nobody cares about it, so that's how it's going to be.
One thing is certain when you go from being top dog all the way to third. Some things are going to change. Such was the case for NBA power forward Chris Bosh. Choosing to sign with the Miami Heat put Bosh behind LeBron James and Dwayne Wade when it came to popularity.
Chris Bosh, who Gentry said is the most underrated player in the NBA. And Bosh makes them pay at the other end.
So when a press conference was called after a disappointing playoff loss, Bosh was forced to attend his press conference alone, while James and Wade did one together.
The problem is we're down 2-1. That's the problem. We got to figure out how to tie it up.
Bosh endures long periods of absolute silence, as it appears reporters have nothing to ask him. As his expression turns from confusion to impatience to downright anger, one can't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all.
How did you pinch your neck this morning?
I woke up.
You woke up with a crick in your neck, or?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Okay.
Number 8, you play to win the game. Herm Edwards.
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is.
Stick to your guns. Following a loss by the New York Jets to the Cleveland Browns, NFL head coach Herm Edwards stood before reporters ready to answer questions. However, he quickly launched into a tirade that has since achieved legendary soundbite status.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Edwards' reaction, a mix of anger and indifference, is an example of what happens when a disgruntled coach has to answer questions day in and day out. What makes this clip so funny is the look in Edwards' eyes as he repeatedly says his famous line. It's as if he's explaining to these reporters the late-breaking story that the sky is blue.
When you start telling me it doesn't matter, then retire. Get out. Because it matters.
Number 7, crying over another man. Terrell Owens.
You can talk about the vacation, and if you do that, it's really unfair.
You should never feel good for laughing at someone who's crying, although this press conference may be an exception to that rule.
I care about the guy because he wants to win and he works hard. I mean, it's easy to like guys like that.
Kidding me? Damn, good catch. When asked about the poor play of his Dallas Cowboys teammate Tony Romo, the eccentric wide receiver can't seem to keep it together emotionally. Hidden by a pair of dark sunglasses, Owens awkwardly tries to defend one of his fellow players while crying.
It's my quarterback. And if you guys do that, man, it's unfair.
Nearly any other player in the NFL would have been hailed with praise for allowing himself to supposedly appear weak in a league defined by strength. However, based on T.O.'s antics over the course of his career, many saw this press conference as just another instance of a man looking for attention.
We know he's an emotional guy, but he's a sensitive guy. Right. He's very sensitive. And it came out today again. Just kind of shows you how much he cares about this team.
Number 6, cats and dogs. David Bennett.
That thing just took off like crazy, so I'm hopefully glad that thing's going to quit playing now.
As a college-level football coach, you need to find ways to motivate your players. The press conference given by head coach David Bennett comparing his Coastal Carolina players to cats and dogs can hardly be construed as motivating. A better word would be amusing. What makes this press conference great is the way Bennett tells his story.
I turn and look, there's a little kitty cat in our kitchen. So I said, "What are you doing in here, little kitty cat?" By that time, the cat turns, tries to get back out. That screen won't go that way.
The rapid-fire delivery, mixed with Bennett's thick South Carolina accent, makes it difficult to understand whether or not the story is meant to be funny or serious. The entire press conference is a roller coaster of emotion, with the coach using various voices to recount the tale of the cat and the dog. Hopefully his players got the message.
I told our players, you need to be more like a dog. We don't need a bunch of cats in here looking in the mirror. Do I look good? I got my extra bands on. I got my other shoes on. Be a dog.
Number 5, I'm just here so I won't get fined. Marshawn Lynch.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. So y'all can sit here and ask me all the questions y'all want to. I'm going to answer with the same answer, so y'all can shoot if y'all please.
Constantly having to answer reporters' questions is part of being a pro athlete. However, there are always loopholes for those who simply don't care. NFL running back Marshawn Lynch has made a career out of running people over.
Finds a little bit of a hole, keeps his legs moving, he's across the 40, midfield, 45, he's on the run, Lynch, 40, pushes him at 35, look at him go, touchdown Seahawks!
However, it's his quiet reserve that has netted him the best sound bites. Take this press conference, in which Lynch answers every question with, "I'm just here so I won't get fined." What makes this clip so hilarious are the reporters who continue to ask beast mode questions even after he's made it perfectly clear that he only brought one answer. Lynch's indifference towards the situation makes the presser both comical and memorable.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Number 4, playoffs, Jim E. Mora.
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me?
Contrary to popular belief, former NFL coach Jim Mora did not simply repeat the word playoffs in an awkward voice for an entire press conference, although he may as well have. This infamous soundbite was part of a larger press conference about the play of his team, the Indianapolis Colts, in their most recent game.
Coach, there's going to be girls at our party. You think we should talk to them about the playoffs?
Playoffs?
After lamenting the fact that they'd suffered 5 turnovers, Mora turned his attention to a reporter who asked whether or not he believed the team could make the playoffs. Mora's strange delivery and immediate head cock gives him the appearance of a squawking chicken.
Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Another game.
Number 3, leg biting, crotch grabbing, and more, Mike Tyson.
It was like all free for all. Somebody was biting my leg.
Anytime a press conference ends with you grabbing your crotch and letting loose a string of homophobic slurs, it's probably safe to say it didn't go very well.
I'm like pushing the head, realizing, Tyson's biting my leg. He's biting my leg.
Back in 2002, Mike Tyson did just those things. Iron Mike was set to fight Lennox Lewis for the heavyweight boxing championship. But when a press conference was called in New York, things quickly fell apart as Tyson rushed his opponent, inciting a brawl. Not enough for the earbiter, Tyson grabbed a microphone and began hurling insults at various reporters in attendance. What makes this press conference so funny is Tyson's complete lack of restraint. Even his handlers appear to be afraid of him.
Yeah, you can't take that from him.
Big right hand from Lewis, and Tyson goes down for the 3rd time in his career.
Number 2, I'm a man, Mike Gundy.
If your child goes down the street and somebody makes fun of him because he dropped a pass in a pickup game, or says he's fat, and he comes home crying to his mom,
screaming at the top of your lungs in a room filled with reporters is never a good idea. Such was the case with Oklahoma State football coach Mike Gundy.
You want to go after an athlete, one of my athletes. You go after one that doesn't do the right thing.
Speaking after his team won a game against the Texas Tech Red Raiders, he begins by bringing up a news article that was written about one of his players. He boisterously voices his negative thoughts on the piece before launching into the infamous tirade about how he is a 40-year-old man.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40! I'm not a kid!
The fury in Gundy's eyes as he bounces around the podium quickly turns from scary to hilarious as he continues to scream and yell like a petulant child. What's wrong with a good old-fashioned letter to the editor?
That's all I got to say. Makes me want to puke.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are some honorable mentions.
That's so frustrating. You have no idea how frustrating that is to play a half of basketball we did and come back in the second half and just totally lay an egg.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. I lost.
You lost?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, what happened out there?
Are you serious?
No.
Did you watch the match?
When the seagulls follow the trawler, it's because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea.
Number one, practice. Allen Iverson.
We're talking about practice, man. When you come in the arena and you see me play, don't you?
If there were a Hall of Fame for press conferences, Allen Iverson's rant about practice would surely be on the first ballot. After the Boston Celtics defeated the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round of the playoffs, the former basketball star begins by addressing a reporter's question about him missing a team practice.
I know it's important. I do. I honestly do. But we talking about practice, man. What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
Not a game, but practice. Practice. What makes this press conference unique is the amount of self-awareness that Iverson possesses.
It's funny to me, too. I mean, it's strange to me, too. But we talking about practice, man.
He understands how ridiculous the situation is, but he's gonna ride it out.
You're telling him not to practice, so then he takes that, goes back, and hence the famous practice?
And I seen the interview, and I said, no, don't do that to me.
Do you agree with our list?
We need more dogs.
What do you think is the funniest sports press conference?
What else do you want to know?
For more entertaining top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
In competition, the best man has to win. We have to do everything we can. I'm happy for him to give me a fight. The payday was wonderful. I really appreciate it. And if you could be kind enough, I'd love to do it again. I think I could beat you if we try one more time.